All right, welcome back, everyone, to the second match of the day, where we have Germany up against Ukraine. Two pretty strong teams, and I think, especially, Germany, a strong team, expect to make it this far in the tournament, but Ukraine having a pretty surprise upset performance against Brazil, taking them on tiebreaker 6-5. So I think it'll be an interesting one. Maybe a little bit favored for Germany, potentially, but I think Ukraine has some surprises in their sleeve.
Certainly should be. We are going to see a DT2 ban out of Germany. That's a little bit surprising to me. They do have a fairly strong speed roster, you'd expect, but are going to ban that out. And now we should be getting 2 bans from Ukraine. I honestly could very well see them banning out something like the No Mod 3.
Yeah, I think the DT2 ban is more of a respect ban for Ukraine than necessarily, them being weak on the DT2. Because Ukraine had a very strong performance on last week's DT2. A little bit of a different map. Last week's DT2 was a bit more conventional, to stream and a little bit of aim, but this one a bit more wonky, but still a similar skill set. That's fair, ban from Germany. And Ukraine responds with a No Mod 5 hidden 3. We've actually, funnily enough, saw this exact ban out from Australia. It's just the 2 AR8 maps. I think Ukraine just not really being too comfortable on that low AR gimmick.
Yeah, and I expect that's going to be a very common ban pattern that you see, not even just this week, but across the tournament, because there tends to be one team that has a clear edge on low AR, and so the other team, almost every time, is just going to ban out both of those low AR maps, and just try and match on the other skill sets.
Yeah, I think most, things like tapping and aim, for most of these teams, if they've made it this far, like they have a 3-man for aim and tapping. But low AR is one of those skill sets where a lot of the times you just don't have 3 people who can comfortably play it. So if the enemy team does, then you kind of just have to ban it out. Otherwise, it's just too one-sided.
Yeah, we are still waiting on the second ban from Germany.
Yeah, not sure what they're going to go for. Potentially just something they think Ukraine is very strong at. Ukraine also playing the DT3 last week pretty well. So that could be a ban.
Yep, they're going to go for the free mod 2.
Yeah, so that was... that's interesting, because this week's free mod 2 is pretty different from last week's free mod 2. This one's a lot more gimmicky, but... I mean, Germany had a ridiculous performance on free mod 2 last week. Having a 3-way with an SS and a double Hard Rock FC, so I don't know. It's a bit of a surprising ban, but maybe Germany just not too comfortable on that more gimmicky, rhythmic challenge on this week's free mod 2.
Exactly. I think the rhythmic aspect of free mod 2 this week is just so much more intense than it is last week. It's a lot more awkward. So I can see them not being comfortable on that, banning it out, especially since Ukraine has also looked decent on the free mod 2 so far. Now, notably, Germany does still have the free mod 3 left open. It is the last AR pick in the pool, so we'll see if they do end up going for that. But before then, we've got Ukraine with the DT1 pick. So Germany bans out the DT1. Ukraine goes right into the DT1. Now, this is going to be your consistency DT. Monster is going to be fairly standard aim DT here.
Yeah, so this is, DT1 is normally the aim DT slot, but this is a little bit more on the bursty side. I think if you're comfortable single tapping 246 BPM, the aim shouldn't really be too much of a problem, and then it's just, just consistent mechanical test. I think on the side of Ukraine, we're going to see the 3 big players that have played the majority of the maps so far at this point, Raf GPO, Poma, and Dench. And on the side of Germany, lots of strong options for them.
Yeah, on the side of Germany, I'm wondering if we do see somebody like Kriller potentially coming in for this one. Could definitely see, I could see Epics playing this as well.
Yeah, if they're going for their last DT1 roster, probably expect to see Kriller, Akarinya, and Rundy. Rundy is a funny name to see in 3WC. He's been shredding the 4-digit tournament scene for a little bit now, and now he's just back in the where he belongs, really, in the 3-digit World Cup, and doing very well.
Yeah, finally time to move up in the world.
So I think now if we just get Denshin, we're going to have the same rosters as both of these teams played last week. And Ukraine actually performing better on last week's DT1, so this is a very strong pick from them.
Yeah, we're just waiting on the last player from Ukraine here.
And there he is. Yeah, Ukraine's team is pretty interesting. It's 3 like all-rounder players you'll expect to see in most of the maps who are in the lobby now, then a couple specialists for a few of those other skill sets, namely being streams and low AR, but the low AR has been banned out, so...
Yeah, and Rapg especially has had some very strong tournament performances lately. Gonna look to do the same today. And here we go into DT1. Ukraine looking to take their first pick here.
I think everybody's familiar with the top diff of this map. This one is pretty similar in terms of rhythm, but just, less spaced aim and a little bit shorter aim sections as well, which will really help if you're single tapping this. But actually, we're only going to see one person single tap this. I think Akarinya on the side of Germany.
It's certainly on the faster side. Now, the nice thing about this map is because it is the aim focus, you don't really have many longer bursts. So even if you're not super comfortable with the 246 BPM, you can kind of just mash through those bursts, and while you will drop some accuracy, you usually can get through without any big misses. Now here we go, into the first big chorus. This is where the aim really comes into play, and this is where we might start to see some big misses.
But so far, everybody's holding through. Good accuracies on everyone, but Ukraine has that slight AC advantage.
Yeah, the accuracy advantage is very, very tiny for Ukraine, though, so it is really going to come down to who finds the first miss into a slower section now, and because this map is kind of more comfortable, there goes Akarinya. That's going to be a big miss for Germany now, 3 FCs to 2. This is a much easier section. As I was about to say, you really can't afford to miss on these easier sections because it's just free combo. Ukraine is going to need to find a miss on the Ki here if Germany wants a hope of getting back into this one.
Ukraine is looking so good, getting almost 2/3 into the map with the 3-way. And honestly, this is the point of the tournament where DT1s have kind of left the territory of just being super easy. If you miss, it's just unfortunate. But this is the point where skill cap matters, and we can see Ukraine just playing so well. A full reset on the side of Germany. There's no full combos left. Dench does trade, but it's still 2-0 FCs. And
yeah. There goes Akarinya, Rundy a second time, and that is going to seal it. Ukraine are going to take their first point in a decisive fashion.
Yeah, and looking really, really good on their first pick.
Yeah, and into the ending here, we should have 2 FCs from Poma and Wrath.
There it is, a double FC from Ukraine and Dench with the medal for the best AC in the lobby. Very solid, 99.37%. Actually, there's a few sections of that map that are a little bit annoying to AC. Great first map, but Germany now is going to respond.
Yeah, I mean, you see why that was such a great first pick from them. 3 million team scores, so impressive from them. Triple S rank as well. It was just the one slider break from Dench. They nearly had a 3-way. So a very, very strong start for them, and they're going to be feeling great about that one. Germany, though, of course, has a lot of options left in the pool. They do have the free mod 3, which is that low AR Ukraine has been trying to ban out as much as possible. We could also see them go for kind of one of these more tech-focused picks.
Yeah, I kind of expect to see Nomad 2, and yeah, they go for the Nomad 2. One of their strongest skill sets, we saw Germany get the best team score on the Nomad 2 last week. And this Nomad 2, I honestly think favors their strengths a little bit more. Because this is more of a stamina Nomad 2. I mean, it's 200 BPM, a big step up from the previous Nomad 2s we've seen in this tournament. This is the point where you might be able to play 180, you might be able to play 190, but doesn't necessarily mean you're as comfortable on a map like this, but I think Germany will be.
Yeah, a little bit easier on the kind of aim control aspect of it. And like you said, I do think that'll favor Germany. We are going to see Gusnicki in for Ukraine.
Yeah, Gusnicki, I think, is the no mod 2 stamina specialist on the side of Ukraine. Filling in for, I believe, Poma. We're not going to see him in for this one. But I still expect to see Dench and Rap GPO. Maybe leaving to give the map a little bit of a try.
Yeah, I can't imagine we don't see those two back in the lobby. But it may be taking a second to get their roster sorted out here.
And we see Shark coming in on the side of Germany, being the 1FC for Germany on last week's number 2. And then probably going to see Arkernia, and I expect to see Kriller again, but I wouldn't be surprised if Germany has more than 3 players who are capable of playing this map. Apparently, it's Roman, not Poma.
Yep. We will keep that in mind. And we're actually going to have Rising in for this one over Curler. This is not that surprising to me. Rising is also a very, very capable no-mod player. Back on the German OWC team, Rising, of course, was in for most of the no-mod 2s and did look very, very good on a lot of them. So.
Yeah, Rising, very strong stamina player. We've seen him perform in, OWC in some of the bigger tournaments. So, yeah, Germany having it's good when you have so many players who are strong in a skill set, because then it gives you the freedom of, whoever's feeling good can step in instead of just having to play, even if you're not necessarily feeling as strong on the skill set that day.
And there's a little bit of a build-up before you get into the streams, but once you do get into the streams, they do not stop. There's not much of a break, and so there's going to be a lot of pressure to keep the stamina going. Rising does drop some early accuracy, but should be inconsequential over the course of this map as long as you can recover. Gusnicki with a very early miss. Again, map is long enough that as long as they can recover, it shouldn't make a huge difference, but may weigh on the mental of the Ukrainians a little bit. Finds another miss now. Gusnicki really needs to find some consistency here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a 2v3.
That's another break on the side of Ukraine from Raf GPO, and that's 1 FC to 3, looking pretty bleak for Ukraine even early on.
Yeah, kind of falling apart here so far. All the pressure is now on Dench, and even if Dench holds strong, now you need Germany to find multiple misses. Well, the comeback is not happening. This is the kind of map that, realistically, I could see multiple players on Germany getting 800, 700k scores.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think we would need to see a 3-way break on the side of Germany right now in the middle of the map, and Dench to carry on. However, the secondary combos on the side of Ukraine have recovered. Gusnicki and Raf GPO holding a bit of combo now. The potential is there if we see some breaks, but as you said, it might just not happen.
Yeah, I mean, look at the accuracies across the board. All 3 of the German players above 99. They're so comfortable on this pick. Finally, Shark finds a miss, but with 2 FCs still going strong. Oh, but there goes Rising as well.
Break from Rising.
The combos are massive on the side of Ukraine. They're going to start to pull this one back. Akarinya really needs to hold here.
The potential is there for Ukraine now. They have the combo advantage. The score is going to start swinging towards them if they can hold through.
Yeah, those are exactly 2 misses they needed. Gusnicki does find the miss,
is unfortunate.
That was the lowest combo on the side of Ukraine, so it's currently 1 FC to 1, and it's Raf G who has the second highest combo in the lobby, and so the score is slowly going to go back over to the side of Ukraine, and if Gusnicki can recover well, it should go in favor of Ukraine here. The question is, can they hold through the ending? It is very, very tricky.
I don't want to, curse Dench, but look at that accuracy, 99.8%, the highest in the lobby by a good margin. They need to hold on for a bit longer. The score is just taking too long to carry, but Gusnicki with that break.
Oh. Yeah, Ukraine just drops right at the end, and they do unfortunately run out of time. It could have gone over if they had had about 300 more combo to work with, but not going to be enough. And Germany is going to be very thankful to get through their own pick here.
Yeah, honestly, considering that was, I think, one of Germany's stronger maps, that was a very solid performance from Ukraine, almost getting that pretty even match so far, going into Ukraine's second pick. I'm thinking potentially DT3 here. It's a map they performed pretty well on last week, and considering that DT1, pretty different skill set, and the DT3 is something I would consider to be one of the easier maps this week.
That's a great sign for Ukraine. Love to be putting up a fight on Germany's pick and now to go right into your own with some confidence here. I do think it's very likely we're probably just going to see Ukraine run the DT pool as much as possible, aside from maybe that DT4, which is a little bit more unconventional.
The DT4, as we saw in China versus Australia, very reading intensive, lots of places to break on aim and reading, even if you're a really strong tapping player. The DT3 is more of that conventional high BPM, a little bit heavy on the intro for the difficulty, and gets a little bit easier towards the end. They're taking their time, thinking about their pick. Free mode 1 is also an option if you want to go for a speedy route. Has a little bit of slider aim in there as well, but you can kind of just ignore it. And yeah, they go for the free mod 1, the stamina pick. Now, when I first saw this map in the pool, I had to do a double take on the star rating. Your eyes are not deceiving you, that is 7.79 stars. However, a lot of that star rating does come from the very spaced sliders, but you can kind of just hit the slider starts and just ignore the slider end. Just play the tapping, which is more of a reasonable, low 7-star tapping, I would say.
Yeah, very overweighted SR now. What are we thinking for mods here? I could honestly see multiple HGs on this one. This map does feel a little bit hidden favored to me.
Yeah, I'd probably agree that AR 9.7 makes hidden, not too hard. Hidden gets exponentially harder the lower AR the map gets, and the spacing isn't really there for aim as high as, it's really focused on that consistent tapping. I think if you're really comfortable on hitting, you just go hidden on this. Because the problem with taking hard rock on a map like this, not necessarily the aim, it's the OD. It goes from OD 8.7 to OD 10. A very, very consistent onslaught of 240 BPM that can kind of take a hit on your accuracy.
Yeah, the CS 3.7 does help out the hard rock players a little bit, but I don't think it's quite enough to offset the OD that you just mentioned. And we are going to see Rising and Rundy back in here for Germany.
It looks like we're going to see a very similar roster as the Nomad 2. And I'm not sure who we're going to see as the third from Ukraine. I expect to see, Dench, Rap GPO, and Roman.
And I'm wondering if we ever see Rising on the hard rock.
Yeah, I think if anybody was to hard rock, it probably would be Rising. Maybe a hidden from Rundy.
Yeah, but even then, hard to say if Rising would opt for the hard rock over the HD on this pick. So we will have to see. And Dench is going to come in as the last player. They're going to be sticking tried and true with their 3-player core here.
We see Shark stepping in. Now, I think we've seen a lot of maps having overmods on hard rock. I think players taking advantage of the fact that you don't need a hidden. You can just take 2 hard rocks, but this is a rare map where I could actually imagine a double hidden and a no mod. I think if you have strong enough hidden players, you would prefer that. We're going to see a hard rock and a hidden on both sides, so pretty balanced free mod.
Yep, and for Raph, taking the hard rock, if you are going to take the hard rock anyways, the hidden becomes a comfort mod for a lot of people. And so that shouldn't be too much of an additional problem, but does have the extra score multiplier. We'll see if that becomes a factor, but so far, not paying off, as we do see some very early accuracy drops from Rafgio. We expect that to recover throughout the rest of the match, and you're going to want to put your eyes on the two no-mod players in Dench and Rising. These are the players that you want to put up big combos that you really can't afford to have finding misses, especially on the easier sections of this map.
Yeah, and I think Ukraine's odds are good on a map like this. Very similar BPM to that DT1 that they had a great performance on, but obviously much, much higher on the stamina requirement. I think we're about to get into the big sliders.
Certainly are, and actually Germany doing a very impressive job of hacking them. So is Ukraine.
Yeah.
There goes Rafgio, though. That's the
Rafgio.
first big miss. Score's going to flip over to the side of Germany instantly. And Germany is just not letting up.
It's actually very impressive how both like Rising almost on an SS, Dench on an SS through that slider section, but Akarinya trades the miss that we saw on RavGPO, making it a lot more even.
Yep, and that's both Hard Rocks gone. And there goes Rising. That's the no-mod player. Dench, as you can see, also on the no-mod, is absolutely destroying this map. No issues whatsoever. And that's going to be a really big advantage for Ukraine.
Yeah, the ball is in Ukraine's court. If they hold on for long enough, they'll take their second pick. Getting through the sliders again, if Dench SS's this map, I'll be floored. Especially with some of the harder stamina at the end, but I have no idea how he's getting through this. Dropping a single 100 on that.
That's
completely
on
fair.
You. That's on you.
That's
Everyone knows, can't talk about the SS, or it's gone. It's still on the 1x100 at least, but Raf does find another drops. That's going to slow the bleeding a little bit. But Germany is going to need a miss from one of the bigger combos. Has to be Roman or Dench. RafG can miss all they want as long as the FCs stand.
Yeah, it's still that 2 FCs on the side of Ukraine to 1 on the side of Germany, and that FC on Germany is gone. Shark breaking on like nothing. It's a surprising section to break on, and now Ukraine has a massive advantage.
Yeah, with that FC gone, they don't have any way to make the comeback here. The combos are just not big enough on Rising or Akarinya. And so that is going to be Ukraine securing their second point here with very impressive plays from both Gents and Roman, who are going to be getting the double FC, just like the DT1.
I actually wonder how much that's worth in terms of PvP, considering that's like almost 7.8 stars. Benefiting from both the finger control star rating changes and the slider star rating changes, but extremely strong performance on the side of Ukraine.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's worth a ton just because of how dense the bursts are, especially does not lend itself generally to high PP. But regardless, Germany now does have the pick. Both teams just trading picks so far, and yeah, it's only about just over 600 PP for that one. Not super surprising.
Not that bad considering it is a tournament score. Now, going into Germany's second pick, we've seen a lot of tapping heavy maps, obviously DT1 being more on the aim side, but going from no mod 2 into that free mod 1, we have not yet really explored some of the other gameplay avenues in this pool. So
Yeah, I think
the entire Hard Rock pool open.
Yep, the hiddens as well are open for Germany. I think both the hidden 1 and hidden 2 could be solid picks for them. Even something like the no mod 1, I feel should favor Germany.
Did see Ukraine play hidden 1 last week, and yeah, Germany does go for that hidden 1. Both of these teams played the hidden 1 slot and got honestly pretty similar scores, all things considered. But this is a very different type of hidden 1. Last week we saw an AR9 map where the difficulty really came down to can you consistently play AR9 hidden. This map though, a lot harder on the mechanics. 9.6 makes it a bit easier to read, but the reading difficulty on this one comes more so on the patterns, kind of bunch of anti-aim, weird accelerating and decelerating streams that are pretty easy to break on. think more so this is the kind of type of hidden one Germany would want to play.
Yep, and we do have the Germany's hidden roster here. Epics finally in for a match.
Seeing Epics come in, and on the side of Ukraine, expect to see the same, 3-man of Raf, GPO, Roman, and Dench, who have been playing very well. It's rare you see a team having such a strong 3-man core.
It is, but it does happen kind of more often, I think, with some of the lower seeded teams where you have your 3 players that are kind of far and away the best. And so at that point, you just kind of take the rest of your roster based around that to try and fill the less played mod categories. Now, I do actually really like this pick from Germany. I think Ukraine throughout this tournament has not had as much success on some of these, the HD ones, the no mod ones, even the hard rock ones. And so I think Germany's going to look to abuse that throughout this match.
And I think especially this is the point in the match where you kind of want to start experimenting with what the opponent maybe isn't super strong at, as tapping and stamina has already been explored. I think you want to take a different direction. If Germany does well on this hidden one, you have potentially the other hidden maps. You can also just go aim on hard rock 1, no mod 1, or hidden 2 as well.
Yeah, it does feel like Germany has a lot of options at this point in the match. And so it's going to be on Ukraine to continue to find picks that they can win as we get farther into this match. But here we go, into the hidden one.
See Kriller coming back in for Germany, and I think if there's any player you're looking at for Germany to perform well on a map like this, it is Kriller. An absolute beast of a tournament player.
Yeah, it does tend to be the case. Kriller is just so good, has been popping off lately across various tournaments. Especially good at the hidden, and Kriller is very impressive on some of these more mechanical picks, such as the tech and the aim. We do see a very early miss from Rafji as well as Kriller actually, but both of those are going to be inconsequential here. Map is on the longer end.
Yeah, plenty of time to recover from that early break. It's almost inconsequential, especially with the slight ACK lead on the side of Ukraine because of Shark's 96 now.
Yeah, Shark's accuracy is a little bit concerning early on here. It's recovering well, but dropping accuracy on the easier section, and there goes Raf G again. That's actually a fairly big miss because now you're 350 combo behind. And Germany's going to start to push this lead. FX is going to trade it back as well as Shark, and now it's 2 FCs to 1. All of a sudden, Ukraine are right back in the driver's seat, and the pressure is on Kriller, of course, to close this one out. But there's still a lot of map left to be played, a lot of tricky sections, and so we expect to see many more misses throughout.
Yeah, as you said, it's too early to say that Ukraine has a mass advantage. They definitely do, but they need to keep those combos running for a little bit longer. Oh, and there is 2 breaks on the side of Ukraine. Rafji losing his secondary combo, but losing that FC from Dench is very big for Germany to take this score back. And no, another miss from Roman. No FCs left on the side of Ukraine, and now it's looking really, really good for Germany.
Yeah, that is a full reset. FX does trade one of those combos back, but Shark is there with the supporting combo. Kriller, of course, still on the FC halfway through the map, and the halfway point is where your score really starts to skyrocket as you get past the halfway point. Now, Rafji has found another miss, so has Roman. Ukraine is just falling apart into the ending of this match. FX is trading, but honestly, if Kriller doesn't miss, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, that FC from Kriller proving to be the hidden, rock for the team. And I think this is one of those kinds of maps where if you're not super duper comfortable on that hidden, you kind of just mentally fatigue as you play more. At a certain point, your reading kind of diminishes, but Kriller not showing any cracks in his armor, holding that 99% FC.
No, we'll see if he can hold on into the end of this map. The score lead is so massive at this point. I don't think Ukraine has time. Okay, Dench, Rapchi, and Epix all miss once again. And that is undoubtedly going to be a point for Germany. It looks like Kriller is going to close this one out very nearly the FC. Did technically miss in the first 10 notes, but in terms of score, it's going to be effectively an FC.
Oh, there's another break from Kriller, but still a very, very solid 800k score.
Okay, there goes Kriller right at the end. 850 is more than enough. Very nearly, well, Kriller on his own was able to match 2 of the Ukrainian players. And that is going to be a very decisive point for Germany.
Yeah, Ukraine honestly looking really good early on in that map, but Germany just recovering so well. However, it is Ukraine's 3rd pick, and I think the kinds of maps they're looking to play kind of starting to run out, but you still have some options. Namely that DT3, it's looking pretty good. Maybe the DT4, but I'm not really sure considering it's a lot more of a gimmick kind of map.
Yeah, do keep in mind that was Germany's 2nd pick, so that is a pick, of course, that you expect Germany to be strong on. And if you're Ukraine, you're not going to be too worried about that loss. It's never one you really expected to win. And so they're going to be holding their heads high into their next pick. I do think the DT3 that you mentioned would make a lot of sense for them. There is the free mod. What? Hard to say. I don't think they're going to touch the free mod 3. It is just going to be the DT3.
Yeah, I think you just stick to your guns, keep running on what's been working. Highest, speed BPM map in the pool at 270 BPM. I think as some players have noted in the map pool feedback, this is a little bit intro heavy. It has a pretty tough intro, and as you can see, on the you can see the difficulty graph spike at the beginning and then kind of before the middle, then it kind of tapers off. So it's gonna kind of come down to who can get through those 2 difficult sections and then carry that combo towards the end of the map. I think this is one of the maps we might see a higher score average on.
And what that means is we might see some early misses, but ultimately they're not going to matter. What's going to be much more important is that 2nd difficulty spike just before the middle of the map. But if you get caught out on that difficulty spike, your score is going to be effectively cut in half versus if you find the miss at the start of the map.
It's going to be very important to get through that section. I think for Ukraine, we're going to see probably the same roster we've been seeing before.
Yep. I would think so. Gus is in, probably going to be just Dench and Rapchi Pro in for the second 2 positions.
Yeah, might not see Roman in considering he left the lobby for Nomad 2.
Yep, should be seeing Akarinya in for Germany as well. And this is one of those maps where consistency is going to play a factor, because sometimes you find early misses on easier sections of the map, and that's going to be okay, but on a map like this, if you do miss on the easier section, it's going to be essentially, I shouldn't say free combo, but it is going to be fairly easy aside from those difficulty spikes, so finding any unlucky misses on easier sections of the map are going to be extra impactful in this one.
Yeah, for sure. You do not want to break too much early, especially if everybody holds through the second half. We actually see Roman coming back in. I think Gusnik was in just to lobby sit. So we're going to see the 3 big boys of the Ukrainian team taking this one as well.
Yep, it's actually going to be Rising over Amarenya. Rising, like we saw on the previous DT, certainly no slouch on these DT picks.
Yeah, definitely more of a tapping heavy map, and I think that definitely fits Rising's strength. Now the intro is going to be very important on this map. But at the same time saying that misses are always possible even in the easier sections.
Yeah. We do see 2 early misses out of Ukraine.
One on
So
the side of Germany.
yeah, is going to be traded back by Shark. And that is it for the intro. So
And then
Germany,
you still have this section, as you can see, all of Germany breaking on that pretty difficult part. However, Ukraine gets out of it with 2 FCs. Oh no, I'm not sure if that's. I think it's 2 FCs, right? Or 2 near FCs, basically.
nearly. Rafji did miss
Yeah.
right at the start, and it was actually a Boncho miss. So
Yeah.
for Kriller, he is still holding the FC as well.
Oh, yeah.
So Germany has that going for them, but it is going to be advantage back to Ukraine. And we are approaching the second big diff spike of the map. There goes Roman and Shark. They're going to be trading, but that trade is going to favor Germany quite heavily because Roman was still on the full combo. And it's advantage Germany.
This is very, very close. Raf, GPO, and Kriller are almost identical on combo and Dench matching Rising. This is, if everybody holds their combo, I think accuracy will decide this map.
Very possibly, yeah. Could go either way. And the end of this map is not crazy hard. But you do still have to hold on. Roman does drop some accuracy, but holds on to the combo. Score should finally flip back over to the side of Germany any second now. Unless they keep dropping accuracy, then it won't. Oh, there goes Shark. That's a really big miss.
Breaks.
Oh, but
Raf GPO matches.
That's such a big combo drop. Germany's going to take over. If Rising and Kriller can hold on, it's going to go over to Germany. And Raf misses again. You cannot afford those kinds of breaks at this point in the map. And Germany are going to be taking this one right in the end. The first break point of the match. Germany now up 3-2.
Massive breakpoint from Germany. It was extremely even until that break. Ukraine losing their biggest combo. There'll be Kriller with the FC.
Yeah, very impressive. And that was one of the few remaining picks that Ukraine felt like they really had an advantage on. And I think now that the DT3 is gone, it gets a lot harder for Ukraine to find picks that they have a, strong advantage on. Yes, I would say there's definitely maps left that Ukraine is probably favored on. It's certainly not a strong favorite by any means, and those are the kind of maps that could go either way. You do have the DT4, but that is a very different style of DT. Germany is going for the No Mod 4 pick next. This is one that I've been expecting since the start of this match. This team is so good at tech. Kriller especially is incredible on these tech picks.
And if there was any, tech map where you could really flaunt your ability to play this kind of skill set, it's this one. This is very, very hard on the slider aim. Getting high accuracy on a map like this where the sliders are unbelievably difficult to get 300s on is going to be very challenging. Yeah, this is a really hard No Mod 4.
Yep, hard No Mod 4. Pretty high skill cap, and I mean that to me very much favors Germany. Kriller probably has the highest skill cap on any player in this lobby. On top of that, is so good on every single one of these tech packs, and this is just Germany setting up Kriller to carry here. We are going to see a Karinya in for Germany here as soon as they switch sides.
Yeah, and I think this is where we're going to see how Ukraine is able to play on the skill set. I think normally, if the opponent you were versing on a map like this wasn't Kriller, I think you'd have a lot more hope, but definitely a very formidable tech player on a map that really shows the skill expression for the skill set.
Yeah, I think the main hope for Ukraine is, one, you have to hope that Kriller finds an unlucky miss, and that you can outscore the other two players from Germany. The problem is, it's not just Kriller, right? Akarinya and Shark are also very capable tech players, so it's not like Kriller is having to solo carry Germany through the tech pick. So all Ukraine can hope is that they can outperform as a team here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how that goes. The good luck have funds are out. See the same 3-man from the side of Ukraine.
A very
Now, no
short
mod
map is
4. Oh yeah. 2 minutes definitely short. I was gonna say no mod 4 wasn't picked last week, so we haven't seen the teams play this skill set in a while. So it could be a surprise.
certainly could be. Yeah, I was just gonna say because of how short the map is, any early misses could make a big difference here, and you get very, very quickly into some tricky slider patterns. But nobody being claimed by that
Everybody
very
hit
first
that.
space section.
What?
Yeah, I am amazed.
Yeah, that's an unreal pattern for all 6 players to hit.
Dench and Rapchi, Shark as well, all going to be finding misses, so that's advantage Germany as they have the extra FC. But it is actually Roman with the highest accuracy in the lobby by far, and so that's going to slow the bleeding a little bit for Ukraine, especially with Shark finding another miss. This is a very, very tricky section. You see the sliders, you see the aim control, and the aim control claims Arcarinia.
And now it's just Roman versus Kriller. Roman on that 99 point. That's unbelievable act considering some of the patterns. You have Kriller, a very, very strong tech tournament player on 98, which is kind of what you expect on a map like this. So beating that is kind of insane.
Yeah, not something anyone would have predicted at the start of this map, but right now Roman is winning the 1v1 versus Kriller here. Does need to hold on to the combo though. The accuracy is nice, but there is so much map left to be played here, and so many spots to drop. There goes Roman. Kriller holds on, and that might just be it, unless we see a miss from Kriller very shortly.
The hope for Ukraine in that FC, as well as the combos that were building up on the side of Ukraine, are gone now, and Kriller is just holding throughout this ending.
Yeah, Kriller just does not miss on these tech picks. We see misses from the other 2 players of Germany, but it does not matter. Kriller is going to close this one out, very possibly with an FC. Is so impressive every time.
Yeah, at this level of map pooling, getting these consistent FCs is just not normal. It's not something you should take for granted. There it is, over 900k. Just insane performance from Kriller.
Yeah, and Ukraine, they got about half of what they needed there. Shark and Akarinya did get the bottom 2 scores in the lobby. So, as a team, Ukraine was able to outperform, but not much you can do when Kriller pulls off a casual FC on a map this hard.
And I think it's exactly what we said earlier. I think Germany picking that map, kind of putting the pressure on Kriller to perform, and he showed what he was capable of.
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of having a player like Kriller who is so good and has such a high skill cap, especially in these earlier stages when you're in the lower bracket. If you're running out of picks, you can kind of just pick one of the hardest maps in the pool and say, hey, Kriller, it's your time to carry. Thanks. And that's what he does. Ukraine does have the next pick, so they're going to be looking to fire right back.
Yeah, Ukraine asking for a timeout. We'll have to see if they get it.
Yeah. Generally, they will allow 1 brief timeout per match. So yeah, 2 minutes. Ukraine, you're going to have time to collect themselves. Do not want to give up another break point, and I think this is the perfect time for Ukraine to take that timeout. If you do give up a break point at this point in the match, it's probably just going to be over. Germany has quite a few options that they should be advantaged on. Oh, and it seems like it is actually Dench having some issues here. Hopefully, he's all right.
Hopefully, we see that being resolved. Yeah, I think this is the point in Ukraine's picks where things are going to get a little bit more difficult. We've seen them pick DT1, Free Mode 1, and DT3, kind of going for that high BPM or high stamina requirement. I think so far they have only picked 240 BPM and higher. So they're going to have to go for a different direction, as there really isn't anything like those maps left in the pool.
Yeah, it seems like Dench is feeling a little bit sick, so hopefully he'll be feeling a little bit better after the break, well enough to play. I mean, really, unsure if Dench has been feeling sick the whole match because it has not shown in the gameplay. Dench has been putting up some solid scores overall.
Yeah, all things considered, Dench has been playing very well, so I'd be extremely surprised if he was on a debuffed sick stomach the entire time.
Yeah, if so, all the more impressive.
I think occasionally that is a weird thing where I feel like normally being sick should make you worse at the game, but I'll see, someone just be like, oh, I have the flu today, and they'll get like one of their best scores ever. It happens sometimes. I don't really understand it. They have to say their pick now.
Yeah, they do get a minute to pick after the warm-up, so you do have 2 minutes for the warm-up, followed by your standard 1 minute pick timer. Of course, the warm-up does not cut into the pick timer at all, so they do have a little bit more time, but we will need that pick from them shortly. Unfortunately, they're not going to have any more time, so hopefully we can get Dench back in, and it is going to be the free mod 3. This is going to be the low AR. I am honestly very surprised by this pick. I mean, they banned out the other two low AR maps, and I guess they're just feeling more comfortable on this one. Now, to be fair, this is unlike the other low AR maps in the sense that for each of the others, you need 3 players that can very comfortably play low AR. Because of the free mod, 1, you don't actually need anyone on the hidden, so I think it's most likely we're just going to see 4 hard rocks across the lobby, and 2, usually you can find at least 1 player on your team who's comfortable playing that low AR, especially when it's no mod. It makes it much more likely, and you can find someone comfortable playing it, and so this pick from Ukraine, not as crazy as it might seem.
Yeah, no, I think definitely right. You have the option of going 2 or even 3 hard rocks if nobody is comfortable on that AR8. Now this is a very flow aim heavy CS5 AR8 map. I think we saw in Australia China, I think the scores overall were lower on the free mod 3 than the hard rock 3. I think even if you do take 2 hard rocks on this, it is a very challenging map to get an FC on hard rock just because of that consistent 6.5 flow aim. But on the other side, you also have the struggle that is the AR8 hidden on this, probably even harder. So, most likely to see the hard rocks coming in.
Yeah, this map has actually only 1 hard rock FC on the leaderboard. So, if we do see the hard rocks on it, I think it's very unlikely we're going to be seeing many FCs, if any.
Yeah, I think a map like this, an FC would be miraculous on that hard rock, or this mod in general.
Now, this is also the kind of map where you could theoretically see easy if you're really that uncomfortable, but I don't think the map is uncomfortable enough that we would expect the easy, just because it does really cut into your score with the 1.75 multiplier. And it looks like we are just going to be seeing 2 hard rocks, on each team. Raph, Dench, Rundy, and Akarinya all going to be rocking hard rock. And it is going to be Kriller and Sherry Tori. First appearance in this match on the no mod. Now, we did see 2 early misses from Germany, from both Akarinya and Rundy, and that is important because it's both the hard rock full combos, and Akarinya finds another miss, not having a good time on this hard rock so far. We want to see Akarinya recover, but another miss needs to find some consistency here. Kriller is looking very strong, but nobody on Germany has been able to build up any supporting combos so far. Meanwhile, Ukraine, 3 full combos, 2 of them with hard rock, and that score advantage is going to skyrocket so quickly, already a third of the way into the map, and this one is looking good for Ukraine, but they need to hold on. There goes Sherry Tori. Rundy trades it back, but that trade's going to favor Germany. Germany still needs 1. Honestly, at this point, they probably need 2 more misses from Ukraine. Dench and Rafji have to drop here.
2 FCs to 1 now, and Sherry Tori breaking on that that double reverse slider like looked very, very wonky on that air raid. We can see, I think the strategy for Ukraine's pick strategy is essentially you have your 3 mechanics players and then Sherry, Tori, and I also believe Magnata are kind of in for that low AR, which the other players aren't as comfortable on. But that's kind of, proving to work. Sherry, Tori on a pretty solid score, just 1 break so far.
Oh, there goes Rapchi. Now it is traded back by Akarinya and Rundy. The problem is it's 1 FC to 1, and you can't really afford to be trading FCs. There goes Kriller, and that is going to decide it for Germany. Ukraine is going to be getting a point here. Looks like a very impressive FC. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have said anything. I apologize.
The ending on that is brutal, but an unbelievable score from Dench. 900k on Hard Rock on this map is very, very, very strong.
Yep. I would like to formally apologize to Dench for costing them the second ever hidden FC on the map. But Ukraine, even without the FC, they're going to be very happy with that point because it wasn't really that close. They are going to be feeling really good, and this match is back within 1 point. Now, even though Germany did have a 2-point lead, keep in mind it's only 1 break point. So if Ukraine can win one of Germany's picks, whether it be this pick or the next pick Germany has, it will be right back in this. Germany is now going to go for the HG2. And this is another one of those maps that I think favors Germany quite strongly here. They have been the stronger HG team, not only throughout this match, but throughout the entire tournament. And we are going to see FX back in. Germany's hidden player is very, very impressive on the hidden. I expect for Ukraine, we are probably going to see Dench and Rapchi back in, along with, I'm guessing, probably Gus in for the hidden, if I had to guess.
Probably, I'd expect to see Roman, Rapchi, Dench from the side of Ukraine. I think maybe I think Gus is more of a stream player. We'll have to see though. And on the side of Germany, yeah, this is probably going to be FX, Kriller, and Shark. But this map, honestly, there's potential for a breakpoint on a map like this. It's relatively short, just over 2 minutes. And it's the kind of map, low BPM, flow aim, hidden control. It's one of those kinds of skill sets where you can have pop-off moments and you can also have very low roll moments. So the potential is there. If Ukraine has a very good run and Germany has a very unfortunate run, this is definitely a breakpointable map.
Yeah, now this is one of those maps that plays into Kriller's skill set very well. It is kind of that tech aim control focus map. While it is probably just on the lower side of BPM, I do think Kriller is going to be very comfortable on this pick. And so that is going to be a point of fear for Ukraine here, who is still deciding their roster. Now, what you'll find with this map as well is that the second half of this map is really, really hard, especially when compared to the start of this map. And so any early misses are, once again, very important because it is so much harder to make up that combo difference on the latter half of this map, and it is so much harder to hold in onto that combo through the second half.
Yeah, completely agree. This is definitely a map where you can combo the intro relatively easily, but continuing that combo through the second half, much harder. We're going to see Magnata coming in for their first map of the match, having played the Hidden 3 last week. See, there's no Hidden 3 available in this match, but I think, being that hidden specialist for the side of Ukraine, maybe Dench not as comfortable on a map like this.
We'll have to see how this plays out. I wouldn't really expect to see too many misses, honestly, throughout the entire first half of the map. There are definitely some points where we could see misses, but hope to see those minimized from both teams.
A little bit of a slow start, but it's going to start ramping up.
And we'll see if anybody gets caught by this transition. Kriller actually does get traded back by Negma. But that is honestly Kriller, not the player you'd expect to be breaking on this one.
Yeah, Kriller is the last person you'd expect to see from, break on a map like this. But as I said, this is just the kind of map where you can randomly miss, even if you're very strong on the skill set. And we can just see Magnata and Kriller are just chaining those misses, but Magnata having a little bit of a rougher time. But that break from RAFG is going to be much more impactful on the side of Ukraine near the halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the worst places to miss. It cuts your score, cuts your potential score in half, and right before a slow section, it's just going to be a free score advantage for Germany. You're going to see that score bar go to the side of Germany so quickly, even with how slow the map is right now. I mean, the one hope for Germany is that Roman does still have the FC, and we are about to go into a very, very tricky section. So if Roman can hold and the two full combos on Germany are lost, then Ukraine certainly has time to make a comeback, but they need those misses to happen very, very soon. And if Roman misses, it will spell the end. Into the transition, there goes Magnata and Kriller, but the key combos are all held. Kriller misses again, it doesn't really matter, honestly.
Ukraine needs a miracle double break right now.
Yeah, and I think it's just over. Oh, there goes FX, but Shark holds, and Ukraine is just out of time here. Germany is going to be on match point.
And honestly, a very impressive, what looks like it's about to be an FC from Roman with over 99% at getting the best score in the lobby, but fortunately not enough. That backing team score just being a little bit strong on the side of Germany.
Yeah, honestly, very impressive from both Shark and Roman. This is not an easy map by any means. You can see most of the other scores in the lobby all below 500k.
Other than FX with that 700k.
Yeah. Now Ukraine does have another pick, so Germany is on match point. But the one hope for Ukraine is that Germany has run out the HD pool, right? So they do still have some good options. You look at things like the HR1 and even the Nomad one possibly, but I think those are a lot less clear cut for the side of Germany, and something Ukraine certainly should feel like they have a chance on. And Ukraine, though, is going to have to be very, very cautious with their next pick.
Yeah, and if there's any direction I expect Ukraine to go, it's in those hard rocks. I mean, that free mod 3 was decided by the hard rock difference on Dench and RAFG getting an FC and a 700k. So that being a 6.5 hard rock, maybe you take the hard rock 3 gamble. It is a bit of a shorter map. It is a really small circle, but maybe you go in that direction. If you're not going hard rock for Ukraine after that free mod 3, I honestly don't know where you go. No mod 1 is an option if you're feeling good on aim, but considering that hidden 1 being Germany's point, don't know if you go for that.
No, I would agree with you. I think it should be the hard rock, although I will say I think it has to be the hard rock 2 or the hard rock 3. I don't think you can really pick hard rock 1 if you're Ukraine. I mean, obviously you can pick it. It's just incredibly risky, and I don't think that's a risk they need to take because it's a very big pool for the best of. You see how many different pick options there are. You've got the Nomad 1 and 3, all the hard rocks, as well as the GT4. And we should hopefully be getting that pick shortly. Otherwise, the pick is going to be given to Germany. And is that a mispick? It looks like it.
Actually?
Now, I'm unsure if that was Boncho. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. They were late, and they might miss the pick, but it doesn't actually matter, right? Because Germany gets the pick, and then Ukraine gets the next pick, right? It's not that Germany gets 2 picks in a row. It just reverts to the same order. And so, regardless of the order of the picks, Ukraine was going to have to win their own pick, followed by winning Germany's pick just to get to tiebreaker. And so the exact same 2 maps are going to be picked either way. And so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the pick here. I think it will go to Germany. But at the end of the day, it is actually completely inconsequential.
They picked the same map. What?
Was that a pick? I thought Raf was
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
no,
tell
yeah,
the ref that it was a
yeah,
no mod
yeah.
3 pick. I don't think that was
Uh,
Germany's actual pick.
yeah, you're right.
I
I
think, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, honestly, I think this might be Germany's pick if what Stu's saying is correct. For a second, for a second I thought because Raf GPOs and Roman's colors were different, I thought that was Germany picking the same map, but no,
Yeah.
it seems
And
that it's gonna be Germany's pick.
yeah, and you can see the discussion in the chat. This is what I was trying to highlight. Ukraine has the next pick. So it does, yes, it feels kind of bad for Ukraine, but ultimately it doesn't matter at all. Germany would have had the chance to pick this anyways. And so if you weren't able to win on Germany's pick, you're just losing the match anyways. And I hopefully Ukraine makes that realization on their side and doesn't get too much into their head about it, because it can be very demoralizing to lose your pick like that. But if they can come to that realization that it just doesn't matter at all, then they can play this one out and not feel too badly about it. But we are going to be getting the DT4, and this is the map. Do we need to say anything else about it?
This is a very, I think, following in the same vein as DT4, just being kind of a weird reading map. Last week we obviously had that AR9 after DT on Tide Machine, but this is a bit different. AR 10.3 going much higher in the AR, but still keeping that reading challenge. However, considering, I think Ukraine is going to have the tapping for this, but do they have the reading for this? I think all of the players on the side of Ukraine can read 10.3. We saw that on the DT1, but it's not necessarily just the approach rating that's difficult, it's the type of patterns that we see in this map.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised to see the GT4 pick out of Germany. I do feel like they have a bit more of an advantage on some of these aim focus maps, whereas this one is going to be, like you mentioned, reading and aim control. And while I do think Germany has looked a little bit better on aim control as a whole throughout this match, it's certainly not a significant edge, and I could see this one going either way. Germany is on match point though, so Ukraine cannot afford to lose this one. Roman and Rapchi, those have been two very, very good players for Ukraine. Surely we're going to see Dench in as well here.
Yep. Now I did just see a screenshot in general from Roman where the no mod 3 on his client side came before the countdown ended. So it might have just been Bancho being very harsh on the Ukrainian team. So I'm actually not sure what is going to be played.
It seems like it was just Bancho. So it is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, the decision is they're just going to play the GT4 because really, again, I know I keep saying this. I don't want to sound too much like a broken record, but it doesn't matter. The DT4 and the No Mod 3 were both going to be played anyways, so they're just doing them in reverse order. We're going to be playing the DT4, then the No Mod 3 instead of the other way around, and so for that reason, the refs not going to spend too much time worrying about it. Kriller, of course, in as the third player for Germany. Very unsurprising.
This is a pretty long break in between two maps can sometimes affect how warm you are. So let's see if everybody's kept their fingers ready for this DT4. But yeah, as you said, doesn't really affect the outcome. Either way, Ukraine will have to take both this pick and their own pick regardless to get to the tiebreaker. So effectively, nothing really changes other than a potential mental effect. And I think we saw this map being played in China versus Australia, and we saw that big FC from Crystal being the difference. And this is the kind of map where an FC really does carry because it's so hard to get a big combo.
Yeah, and absolutely. Do not expect to see any FCs in this match. Combos
are looking good early, but a little bit of a, I can't even, blame the Act Drops. This is a very difficult map to get good AC, and, normally 207 BPM not too hard to get accuracy on, but do see 2 breaks, one on the side of Germany with Akharinya and Roman on Ukraine matching it.
Yeah, it's gonna be... Oh, there goes Kriller, actually. That's a big miss now because Ukraine has 2 full combos, and even the trade between Akharinya and Roman is gonna favor Ukraine because Roman's accuracy is so much worse that the combo on the side of Roman is worth so much less than Akharinya, and so Ukraine are gonna be very happy with that trade. And you see the score is actually still incredibly close. Despite it being 2 FCs to 1, the accuracy is just so much worse. There goes Razi, and that's the last FC from Germany. And Ukraine is in such a good position to take this one. They just need to hold on a little bit longer. Dench dropping a lot of 50s, but Dutch managed to hold on. The combo is key in Osu, and that is what Ukraine has. Half of the map to go. There goes Rafji. Dench needs to hold on to here. And okay, Dench into the break is going to see the scores, knows that they are the only one holding full combo. And we see it so commonly, a miss right after the break. The nerves just get to you when you're the only one holding. And all eyes on Dench. Rising misses again, but if Dench finds a miss, Akharinya and Kriller are right there. Oh, but Rafji and Roman both miss. That's going to be big. Yes, there's the FC, but Akharinya and Kriller both have massive combos. The score is slowly going to go back over to Germany. It's going to be really, really close. The question is there going to be enough time? The accuracy...
With those 2 breaks on Ukraine, I don't even know if Denchev sees this, but he doesn't. He breaks right there, and that is just going to give such a massive combo advantage to Germany.
Yeah, that might be it. Kriller and Akharinya are holding into the ending. Dench finds another miss. Kriller and Akharinya both hold through the last pattern. The score bar flips back over to Germany, and that is going to be the match. That is going to be the point, and Germany will take this one 6-3. Such a close final match, but unfortunately Ukraine unable to hold on.
Yeah, and honestly, credit to Ukraine doing very, very well with a, mostly a 3-man roster on most of those maps, with Gusnik and like one of the other players coming in for the AR rate, obviously on that free mod, which did give them a point, but yeah. For a mostly 3-man roster in a smaller region, that is an extremely well-played match, in my opinion. Germany being a powerhouse in 3WC.
They certainly are, and Ukraine, obviously, you wanted to win, but shouldn't be too disappointed with their performance. Germany is a very, very strong team. The 6th seed had put up some very impressive scores, and Ukraine showed that they could compete against this really, really good German roster. And I think they should be leaving this match with their heads high. Yes, the score shows 6-3, but assuming Ukraine could have won their no mod 3 pick, very easily could have been 6-4. And so Ukraine should be happy with that one, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment.
Yeah, several close maps as well. You had that DT4, which could have gone the other way if Dench held. And you obviously had that no mod 2, which ended up being very, very close. So this could have swung the other way pretty easily if just a few combos were held. A very, very solid performance from Ukraine, and that is going to be it for them in this tournament.
Certainly is.
Germany's going to move on.
Yep, very well played to both teams. We do have our next match coming up. That is going to be Italy versus Canada, another losers bracket match. So that is going to be another important one. That is at 16:30. So make sure to follow the Twitch channel to get notified of our streams. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we hope to see you again.
See you then.